Hey, so some people still believe that trans women are women and they are ready to argue about it. Let's hear what they have to say.
Or facilitates athletic programs or activities to permit a person whose sex is male to participate in an athletic program or activity that is designated for women or girls. For the purpose of this subsection, sex shall be recognized based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth.
Okay.
What we're saying in this bill is that if you were born a male, then you cannot participate
In women's sport?
You cannot compete against people born as female. It's a very
Clear.
simple. And I'd like to, Mr. Chairman, put into the record an article called, entitled, "A Biologist Explains Why Sex is Binary" by Colin Wright, Wall Street Journal, April 9, 2023. I'd
Without
like to
objection.
submit that. Thank you very much. This is very simple again. We're talking about people born as males not participating
In women's
against
sport.
people born as females.
But why is this so difficult to understand? Like, why would anybody fight a bill like this? Why is it even a bill? It should be common sense. It's not even supposed to be addressed in this high level. It should just be common sense. We should just know these things.
So simple. And it has nothing to do, not one word in here talks about targeting trans people, giving physical examinations. None of the things that our colleagues have said here. This is ridiculous what you are saying.
No,
that
excuse
this
me,
bill
I
would
reclaim my
do.
time. What is ridiculous is that we're spending time with all the problems that we're faced, including a spike in gun violence against children. What is ridiculous is that we are here debating this.
No, we're here to protect women.
You can't even define, you say you don't even know what a trans woman or a trans girl is, but yet you want to ban them from playing in sport.
No. The word trans is nowhere in this bill. It says
we all know what this bill is about. We all
permit-
know what this bill is about.
No, this bill says if you're a biological male, you cannot participate against biological
Women, period.
It's as simple as that.
And so
That
you-
is
and
that
so-
is what it
and
boils
so
down
you
to.
do not believe that trans women are women.
But what is the logic in that? Like, even him saying it, he should just understand.
They were born as males, they're males. There's no way to change your biological sex.
So we just learned that we can't identify a single case where somebody was denied a scholarship because of what is happening right now, and yet there's this urgency to bring this legislation to the floor to somehow protect people. I don't quite get it, Mr. Decano. Can you explain what the urgency about this is? And I mean, and it was this the first bill that was marked up in the Education Committee?
It's one of two first markup bills.
Of all the issues out there,
Yeah.
in terms of
This is a big issue. If you notice what is going on in washrooms right now, like every day you're seeing videos of people fighting biological males being in women's washroom. Every single day you're seeing videos like that repeatedly.
affecting
So it's an issue.
kids in school. This is like the top one or two issues that the Education Education Committee thinks
Well,
is vital to bring to the floor.
And Mr. McGovern, the moral panic that the chairwoman is attempting to create over this case of the athlete competing in intercollegiate sports, winning a competition, this bill would do nothing to affect that. This bill is about banning sports participation of transgender girls and women in K-12 and college sports, but it would not effectively deal with whether or not.
Why does it sound so shaky? Like, express yourself. Why do you sound like, I don't like when people talk like that. You're, in a senior position, I believe. Before you're here to speak, you should be leading something.
In elite competition, there's this question over trans women participating. This bill has nothing to do with that. This bill would not remedy the concern that the chairwoman raised. And let me let me also say that the real harm here is the exclusion from participation of trans young people, trans kids, trans middle school kids, trans high school kids, for whom the huge value of sports is about participation. It's about connection to community. And this bill would stigmatize them. This bill would separate them out. This bill would subject them to even more isolation than the bullying that they often face and the physical dangers. Trans kids are in need of our protection, not of stigmatization. And despite these words not being in the text of the bill, the effect of this bill would be exactly that. Let me just sort of read one of the final paragraphs from the governor of Utah, his veto message. The governor of Utah, as he vetoed a very similar bill, and he wrote it to so Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, wrote to Stuart Adams, who was the president of the Senate, and Brad Wilson, the Speaker of the House of Utah. He said, there's one more important reason for this veto, I must admit. He says, I'm not an expert on, I quote, on transgenderism. I struggle to understand much of it, and the science is conflicting. When in doubt, however, I try to err on the side of kindness, mercy, and compassion. I also try to get proximate, and I'm learning so much from our transgender community. There are great kids who face enormous struggles, and here are the numbers that have most impacted my decision. 75,000, 4, 1, 86, and 56. 75,000 high school kids participating in high school sports in Utah. 4 transgender kids playing high school sports in Utah. 1 transgender student playing girls' sports. 86% of trans youth reporting suicidality. The chairwoman claims, this is not the governor's words, but I just want to insert, claims that she doesn't know anything about trans. 56% of trans youth having attempted suicide. 4 kids and only 1 of them playing girls' sports. That's what this is all about? 4 kids who aren't dominating or winning trophies or taking scholarships? 4 kids who are just trying to find some friends and feel like they're part of something? 4 kids trying to get through each day. Rarely has so much fear and anger been directed at so few. I don't understand what they are going through or why they feel the way they do, but I want them to live. And all the research shows that even a little acceptance and connection can reduce suicidality significantly. For that reason, as much as any other, I have taken this action in the hope that we can continue to work together to find a better way. If a veto override occurs, I hope we can work to find ways to show these 4 kids that we love them and that they have a place in our state. I was getting moved just reading that statement from the Republican governor of Utah. My respect and admiration for him just grew enormously just having those words registered. I would implore the members of this committee to heed his words seriously.
Well, I thank you for that, and I too, I think those were very moving words by the Republican governor of Utah, who's not playing to the cheap seats, who's actually putting the well-being of the people he represents first and foremost. I mean, the bottom line is this bill is not about protecting kids or children or anything. This is a bill that is an attempt to try to drive another wedge in our society, to try to create an issue where there isn't one. And in doing so,
there isn't one?
Will directly impact in a very negative way a vulnerable community in this country that are already the subject of bullying and ostracization, and I may go right down and you're going to see more young people turn to suicide, more young people go down the road of depression and feel like that they're not worth anything, that we're questioning their dignity. As I said in the beginning, I think this is just an awful, rotten thing to do. This is, and my friends on the other side, the creepy obsession with these issues is really, I think, beneath
The
what we should be
creepy
doing
obsession.
at this point. You want to protect children? I mean, kids are getting murdered every day in gun violence. And here we are talking about this. I mean, you know, I don't, there's a disconnect here. Maybe this polls well amongst the small, you know, amongst the MAGA base or whatever, or maybe you can find ways to raise money off this. But this is
Amongst
this is
the
not
MAGA
responsible
base.
legislating. This is a terrible thing to do at this point. And so you know, let's get on with this. And again, I let's get it over with, and hopefully the Senate doesn't take it up. And I trust the president would veto it if it ever reached his desk. But we should be about bringing people together, about promoting understanding and respect for everybody, for promoting the idea that everybody is worth something and everybody has dignity. And here we are dealing with this, which will promote bigotry and hate, and quite frankly, I think will result in more young people taking their lives. And I think that's a terrible, terrible thing. I yield back.
You know, when they keep saying young people taking their lives, is it because they are not allowed to play in women's sports? What is the underlying issue? Like, you can't just throw statements around. What is the cause of these young people taking their lives? Did they figure it out? What is the root cause of it? Yeah, I feel like they just dismiss that issue because maybe right now it's not an erupting issue where they live, but at some point it will be. Because people are beginning to identify as what they want to identify as now. It will be. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on that video. Let me know what you think. I've shared mine. Feel free to share yours in the comment section. And if you have anything to add or correct or smoke, anything you want to do, feel free to do it in the comment section. That being said, have a nice day. Subscribe, like. I'll see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Peace.